wears a grazing muzzle, obviously. He's a short little boy, but he's thick. He's getting a little too thick. We don't want him to founder or anything. And every time he sees me coming with his grazing muzzle, the boys across the pasture before I can say hey. I figured out a new trick where I just take the grazing muzzle, Velcro it around my waist so that way, like, hands-free mode, but I have a little grazing muzzle on the back. And that's how I can, like, lull him into a false sense of security, and then I pounce and slap this on him. Although I have been doing positive reinforcement training with it, that way he has good associations with the grazing muzzle. However, it's not taking. He still doesn't like it no matter what I do. Let's go feed the ponies.
Good morning. Hello. It's a sunny day in paradise. I'm remembering a time, I think it was like third grade. It was either second or third grade. And I remember a kid in my class pointing at a book, one of our history books, and it was like a guy falling off a boat, and he told us that that was his it was 9 greats. I remember very distinctly. It was 9 great grandfather falling off the boat. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think he might have lied, but I'm still really attached to that story, so I'd like it to be true. And I'm going to ignore logic and just believe the second grader that the guy falling off a boat in a history book was his 9 great grandfather. So great. No, I can't count that high, but you get the gist. Now I'm thinking back to like my second and third grade years in school. Did anyone else get in trouble for the randomest stuff? I always got in trouble, and I don't remember being that bad of a child. I remember one time I had my playground rights privileges taken away, and I was banned from playing freeze tag for like an entire week, or it might have been 2 weeks actually, because I accidentally ran over a first grader when I was, running away from the person. That was it. And I don't think that was really my bad. I think the kid, obviously I was running. He could see there was someone pursuing me from behind. I was in a sprint for my life. I don't see why the first grader wasn't responding to my commands of move it or lose it, kiddo. But I accidentally, ran into the kid, and that one infraction got me my tag rights taken away. I was no longer allowed to play freeze tag, blob tag. No tag was I allowed to play. And then on top of that, my rights to recess were removed from me, and I had to sit in a classroom every single time everybody else in the school would go out to play for recess. And that freaking sucked. And then of course I got in trouble for like disrupting class when I had a lot of energy. There also was an instance where I was running through the school hallways, and I know already shouldn't have been running, so I get that that was on me. Once again, I'd like to repeat that I was in 3rd grade. And the way it was set up was it was elementary school, and so our backpacks lined the school hallway, and I guess someone's Go-Gurt must have fallen out of their backpack and was in the middle of the hallway, and I didn't see it until it was too late, in which I had stepped upon it, and the Go-Gurt exploded all up my clothes, and I was covered in strawberry flavored Go-Gurt. And instead of like the teachers letting me go and change and get the Go-Gurt off me, I got yelled at for wanting attention and was like sent off into timeout, I think. And once again, I'm pretty positive I had my recess rights taken away. They really like to restrict my recess. I don't understand. Just reminiscing on those good old 2nd and 3rd grade days. A lot of mistakes were made. A lot of faulty decision making was at hand, and I would blame it on myself being in 2nd or 3rd grade, right? I also, oh my gosh, I remember, so we eventually switched schools. I think my school that I was going to closed down. It was a pretty small school. And I moved to the public schools in my area, and I remember I was in the Excel class, so I was in 4th grade, and it was like 4th grade, 5th grade class. Not that that's like super important, but the way I tell a story, you're gonna get a shit ton of backstory that's not necessary. Anyways, when I got to the class, I remember the very first day in school, the teacher was like, what do you guys wanna learn? What do you guys wanna cover? And one of the girls raised her hand and said, I wanna learn decimals. And I was in 4th grade. I don't know if you're supposed to know this by then or not, but I distinctly remember in my head, I was like, I don't know what decimals are. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm never gonna make it in this class. And like, the girl was like, I wanna learn how to subtract and add decimals and work on fractions. And I was like, I don't know what any of this is. And I, of course, was the new kid, so I was just sitting in the corner. And the best part was, right, 4th grade little girl, I have ponies already at that time in my life. And when they ask, tell us something that no one else knows about you. What did I say? I immediately labeled myself as the horse girl right off the bat. And I was like, I have horses, and then someone else raised their hand and goes, my aunt has horses. And then someone else raises their hand and goes, I rode a horse at summer camp. And that whole conversation was derailed for a good hour after the mention of horses. But Man, the times of being alive in grade school. I guess that concludes morning reminiscing with Robin. I'll think of more and share more if I come up with them, but I don't know if I will. Also, still strapped, look. And then I got my pony. He let me catch him because he didn't see the grazing muzzle, little sucker. And now, if he makes a run for it, I got a handle, so we're good. We're good to go. Dude, look at our hair. We're twins. Well, I know, yours is a lot blonder than mine. Okay, you don't have to be rude about it, man. I'm actually really excited for today because we're gonna be testing out, actually, that's false. We've already tested it out. I took it out on a trail ride the other day with Trin. It's making no sense. I have a new bitless bridle option. I finally got the Karen Rolf Dressage Naturally Bitless Bridle Halter Bridle Bit? I don't know what its technical name is, but there's a bunch of words. This is it. I finally have it, and I'm really, really freaking excited to ride in it again today. I took it out on the trails the other day with Trin when I took her for a trail ride, and she did really well in it. There was no head shaking. There was no, like, she didn't cow kick. There was nothing going on, nothing out of the ordinary. Like, she rode in it the same, if not better, than in her regular Micklem bridle. That's our normal bit. She rode in it just the same. I think we've finally done it, ladies and gents. We finally have a bitless bridle option that's gonna work for me and my pony, because Trin is incredibly sensitive, and all the other options I've tried so far, which is only 2, so like it hasn't been that many, but out of the 2, she's had really drastic reactions to them and like has clearly not liked them. And she shakes her head a lot, almost looks like she has head shakers, that she just like shakes her head incessantly because she just can't handle the bitless bridles that we've previously been using. And I think the big part that she didn't like was the nose bands on them. A lot of times for the bridle to not rotate into the horse's eye and for it to like act the way the bridle's designed, you're supposed to tighten it a little bit tighter than a typical noseband, and Trin does not like that, cannot handle it. But this one, you can have it set really, it's dirty, I need to clean it. But this one, you can have it set pretty loosely, actually super loosely, where you can fit your whole hand in between your horse's face and the noseband, and it will still operate and function the way it was designed. So I'm really freaking excited to test it out again today and just kind of give it a dry run on the flat and see, you know, where all our aids are and how she takes to it. It should be fun, ladies and gents, but my problem is I now have to go get dressed and put pants on, so that's a real bummer for today.
Wish I could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth. Everyone always keep falling in love again. The fuck's wrong with them? I don't understand. Maybe it will pass by, someone save me. Before I pass out, I'm too lonely to be done. I'm a drink at this place. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Ooh. Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be 2 of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy to you, don't it?
I'm done. I quit riding horses. I'm not good at it. I can't figure them out. I don't understand I don't get it. So frustrated with just not being able to speak the same language. And you're probably wondering, Robin, why are you so frustrated? Well, let me tell you. I am beyond frustrated because the ride started off really good and then is slowly deteriorated into an absolute shit show where I can't figure out what's going on. So we keep having like interspersed good rides, like we have a good ride, and then we have a bad ride, and then we have a good ride, and then we have a bad ride. And I can't figure out what is the variable, what's the factor that's setting off Trin that we end up having a bad ride. I can't, like I feel it, I'm just at such a loss. I can't figure out what's going on. Hitting a dead end. It's like there's no winning. I can't get it. I hear him come like my fuse and then ba-boom. And I hear him come like my fuse and then ba-boom. And I hear him come like my fuse and then ba-boom. I'm at a freaking loss. There has to be something going on for Matt. That's like the only possible answer at this point.
Oh, get some chiropractic appointments in our future.
Oh, I'm always sitting on the floor these days, but that's the least of our concerns. Our ride started out actually pretty good. She was a little tight, not incredibly relaxed, but I figured that wasn't the end of the world. We could work through that. And then it fell apart. Everything just fell apart, and I don't understand why. The other day we had a ride and it was incredible. We rode in the same bitless bridle. We went trail riding with it, and like she was totally fine, handled it perfectly. Like there was no question about it. She liked it. She had no issues with it. And then today, back home riding, she's clearly like, something is going on, something is wrong. She was kicking out, she was bucking, and honestly, like, she wasn't really bucking, which is the weirdest part. She was kicking out. Like, if you go back and watch our very first bitless bridle video where we ran into a tree, she clearly is bucking. Like, her back is hunched, her head is down. She's very clearly saying that her saddle hurt. Obviously, saddle fit issues, for it to compound into her exploding and bucking, means that like it was creating sore muscles, and those sore muscles, and even if it might have put her back out of place, is gonna last a little bit longer. And so we've been doing tons of stretches. We're doing a lot of body work with her to make sure that she's feeling at the top of her game. Clearly something is off, something is wrong, but like she's not bucking. The other day, when we tried out the Facebook bitless bridle hack, she, for the very first time ever, cow kicked under saddle, which is like, they just kick one back leg out into the no man's land. And that was a really weird reaction for her, one that she's never had before. And now since then, she's done it a couple different times. And like today, she kept just kicking out with her back, like both back legs. She had like one instance where she cow kicked, but the rest was like, she was hopping with her back end and kicking out. And I don't understand why. I'm so worried that something is going on in her back. That has to be the only option, or she's sour to the arena, because like a lot of times when she reacts is when we're coming back towards the house, or like when we're going away from the pasture is when she has her really big explosion. And I have noticed when I go to walk her out into the arena, she does plant her feet and doesn't always want to walk the rest of the way to the riding area, which indicates some negative association with our arena. I can't figure it out. Like I feel so defeated because it's ride after ride of things going wrong, right? Like, oh my God, what people must think of me to constantly see poor ride after poor ride of my horse telling me something is wrong, and like, it looks like I haven't done anything to correct it. And I have, like I've tried. I'm trying so hard to figure things out, but nothing is working. Ugh, horses! Ow, my ground is really solid. Okay, so, hey, how goes it to my child? I talked to my sister on the phone last night, and I was kind of trying to pick her brain about like, what does, excuse you. So this is not gonna work. Okay, so I was bugging my sister last night, kind of trying to figure out what her thoughts were on what could be going on with Trin. And we both agreed that I need to get her checked out by my vet. Regardless of what I figure out today, someone's coming in my driveway. I don't know who this is. Hello? I don't know you. Well, this just got really uncomfortable. Hang on, I gotta go deal with random people at my house. I don't know who that is. Okay. I need you all to know that before that guy left, he said thank you. And instead of saying you're welcome, I said you as well. Hey, I was telling a story. Instead of saying you're welcome, I said you as well. The equivalent of the waiter telling you to enjoy your food and you go, you too. I feel like a freaking idiot. But anyways, I was talking to my sister last night and we were kind of brainstorming ideas of what could possibly be going on, what's happening. And we both settled on the fact that I need to get her checked out by the vet to figure out what's all going on internally in her body. But I went on a trail ride a few weeks ago and Trin was totally fine and perfect on that. Whereas like the day before in the arena, she was acting up and she was kicking out and kind of bucking a little bit. One of our ideas was that either on the trail ride, she was getting like more stimuli, like it was a new environment. And so the new experiences, new everything around her was overriding that of what she normally is like getting annoyed by, and whether it's like pain or something is bugging her in the arena here, the new environment kind of overrode that. So she was just back to her normal self. Or perhaps, because I was thinking that like where she always acts up here in the arena is when we come back towards the pasture. So I'm like, is she herd bound? Is she potentially sour to the arena? Because I know she has a spot whenever we walk out to the arena that she plants her feet and doesn't want to walk the rest of the way to the area that we go and ride at. So I'm wondering if she's sour to the arena. So today I'm going to ride her in our pasture. We're going to see how she behaves. If there's like the big reactions, if she's kicking out, bucking, what have you. I think regardless of what we see, I'm still gonna call my vet out and have him come check her out and just do a general checkup on her to make sure she's in good working form and that nothing else is like actually going on and nothing else is wrong.
If I had an option to be someone else, I would, and let go of you. I know that I'm obvious, fuck it, I'm made this way. But why didn't I stay when I had the chance? Maybe it will pass by, someone save me for a pass out. I'm too lonely to be done in my drink at this pace. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Ooh. Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy to you.
Oh my God, I figured it out. Guys, she's sour to the arena. She's herd bound to Fletch and she's sour to the arena. Oh my God, I figured it out. Oh, I am so freaking happy right now that we have answers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have freaking answers. Okay, I should probably rephrase that a little bit. I'm not happy that my horse is sour to the arena. I'm so happy that like, I have an answer, guys. We have an answer now to like start trying to figure out something to work towards, something that like I can work on to fix, right? Because obviously her being sour to the arena is nowhere near a good thing. Like that's definitely a bad thing. It clearly indicates that we were having a history of her having rides and like being ridden where she wasn't enjoying either the work that was going on, she was in pain, whether it was from the bridle, the saddle fit issues that we were having. So her being sour shows that we were having like a history of not good times being ridden, which that sucks. Now I'm gonna have to go back and take the time to recondition her and make the arena and every time we work and like come out of the pasture a good experience, like having it as a good time. But I don't know, because like I was in the back of my head with Trin being older, she's almost 19, like next month she turns freaking 19 years old, which is insane. Oh my God, she's growing up so fast. In the back of my head I keep thinking, you know, is it kissing spine? Is there something that's been there her entire life? Because she's always been a pretty sensitive horse in the back. So like, is there something that's been there her entire life that's just slowly gotten worse and now we've gotten to this point that like she can no longer handle me riding her? Like, I don't know, I just thought it was gonna be something that I wouldn't be able to fix or like something I couldn't work to correct, if that makes sense. Like I was worried it was something physical and not something mental. Obviously, I'm still gonna get her checked out by the vet, right? Just because I figured out one answer doesn't mean that like there wasn't two things going on to make the arena, like her sour to the arena and like make her have those reactions. So I'm gonna get her checked out by the vet. I'm gonna get her back checked out, and I think I might still honestly get her back x-rayed to see if there's anything happening internally that like I obviously, naked eye, I don't have x-ray vision, so like I just can't see things that are happening internally like inside her body. I also realize now that like this whole video is supposed to be about us trying our third bitless bridle option, and like here we are at the end of the video where we barely talked about the bitless bridle at all. And I don't know, man, like this was supposed to be about us in a bitless bridle and like it just ended up being about horses being horses and like how the journey is never a straight shot. You go from point A to point B to like point C to J, over here to like point 2, back to like point K to like point 2.5. You know what I mean? Like there's so many crisscrossing zags with the Dressage Naturally bitless bridle. Let me grab it. Honestly, this I think is gonna be the bitless bridle that we're gonna continue working in. I really like this one. I really, really like it because when you put it on, you don't have to tighten down the noseband at all. You can leave it pretty loose. Your hand can easily fit in there and it still functions just fine. And like you don't have to tighten it to prevent it from slipping into your horse's eye, which I really like. The only thing is when I rode in the other day, I did put a brow band on it. I just kind of removed it because I didn't really like how the brow band sat with this, nor like where it was falling. It felt like it was either pinching your ears or putting pressure kind of on like those delicate bones around her eyes. And I didn't like how my brow band was working with this bridle. The only downside is without the brow band, because my horse's weird shaped head, this slides back. So like there's that to deal with, but honestly that's not a deal breaker for me. That's totally fine. We already deal with that with all our halters because she's just a weird shaped horse. As you can clearly see in the video from today, like she was going just fine in this. Even when she was having her sour moments in the arena and was like bucking and kicking out, it was bucking and kicking out. It wasn't her shaking her head the way she had when she either wore the Nolanta bridle or the Facebook hack video bridle, that one. So like she was very different in the head and how she was reacting pressure-wise to this one than she was with the other one. So I think that was really what I was looking out for. We finally have a win. We finally have a victor. I actually would still like to test out a few other brands of bitless bridles, especially want to try out the Transcend bridle because people kept talking about it and like saying, check it out, try it. My horses loved it. I'm just really glad I finally found an option that actually freaking works for us. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to unlike it. Oh, that's called the dislike. I'm an idiot. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Don't waste your time on another one. All right, see you guys next time. Bye. Naturally, bitless help. Oh my God, I can't talk.